Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Tiger Cage 3, a Hong Kong action movie from 1991 that was directed by Yuen Woo Ping. I reviewed Tiger Cage and Tiger Cage 2 a few years ago. This third installment was difficult to find until fairly recently when Blu-ray label 88 Films released it in a sweet box set with the other two movies. So it's time for us to look at Tiger Cage 3. Suki Cheung, played by Sharla Cheung, is a rising financial advisor who often accompanies her boss, Mr. Wong, to dinner meetings. Her boyfriend, James, played by Kwok Leung Cheung, and his best friend, John, a CCB officer played by Michael Wong, place a wire in her purse to find out if she's having an affair. Through the wire, they hear Mr. Wong discussing plans to commit insider trading, and Suki finds the wire but agrees to help James and John investigate the man. So story and characters in Tiger Cage 3 are sufficient, but nothing special. We're definitely missing the star power of the first two installments, but I do like the lead actress in this. Her character engages in a pretty fun drinking game early on, even though it's entirely predictable in how it turns out. Michael Wong is always entertaining, even when he gives an underwhelming performance, but I think he's actually pretty good in this. Kwok's character is very resilient to damage, which is commendable. Over the course of the film, there are some internal conflicts that emerge between our protagonists, which is a nice touch. I enjoy that aspect. The villain, on the other hand, kind of a really lame white-collar criminal who has, deadly thugs do the dirty work for him. He's a mustache-twirling, old man pervert who likes to fondle women all the time. Not exactly intimidating or interesting or memorable, but he's slimy enough to dislike, I guess. Definitely a weak point for the film, though. Pacing is pretty good for the opening 35 or so minutes, but the story does reset, so to speak, during the next 20 or so minutes with minimal action to enjoy. Pacing picks up after that, then it slows down again, and then picks up for the finale. So, overall, it's a little inconsistent, but it does move quickly enough. The action in Tiger Cage 3 is pretty good. Not as impactful or as memorable as its predecessors. But we do get some murder scenes, a car stunt where Wong's character has to hang on top of a car while it's speeding away. We've seen those types of things in movies before, of course. But that car scene is also paired with a foot chase shootout that's pretty fine. There's a short but good fist fight on a house balcony, which is followed by some additional fighting in a tree logging plant. Kwok, one of the main actors, has some pretty good moves, with some legit kicking skills. The way he fights, he has more of a wide range to his punches and kicks, which is pretty interesting to see. Wide angles of motion. There's a good one versus many fight under the starry sky. There's a pretty cool explosive battle on the water to help mix things up. That one came out of nowhere. I'm alright, we're going to mix up the action design here. So I like that one. And there's a solid boss battle, mini-boss, involving various dangerous melee weaponry. Some of it looked pretty dangerous to film, actually. Some fire was used, I'll say that much. And then the very end of the film, kind of a letdown in terms of the final fights. Probably not even the top 3 moments within this movie, let alone the franchise. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. So as you may be able to tell, none of these particular moments are as good as the best stuff we got in the first two movies. The first section of the first movie blows you away with its violence, and then the last section of the sequel blows you away with its huge fights at the end, right? Tiger Cage 3 doesn't have any of that wow factor, really. It's just a good, economically entertaining Hong Kong action flick from the early 90s, which is still good enough, I think. Tiger Cage 3, better than I remember. I watched this back in the day, and I just remember it being just kind of mediocre, but nowadays, looking back on it, putting it in context and everything, I think it's a pretty good flick. I think it's pretty good. I appreciate it more now. Certainly not a bad movie at all, and just enough decent action shenanigans to be adequately entertaining. It just pales in comparison to its predecessors. which makes it still the weakest entry of this franchise. So I do moderately recommend Tiger Cage 3, but going with the proper expectations. If the first two films blew you away, just temper it back just a little bit. Just a little bit. But it's currently available on Region B Blu-ray from 88 Films in a pretty sweet box set. And as always, we will see you next time.